open micers too. Just recording
really?
the pre and post show stuff and putting it out as like a Patreon only thing.
Nice.
Let me go and copy and paste this. Oh, come on. I hate the new Twitter interface on computer. They changed.
I haven't tried it on computer. I just use it for my phone.
They changed everything around. Let me see.
I've never understood why social media will do that. Like, they just completely change how they look.
I don't know. And it's like, it's not. I don't like it. Actually, I'm just going to retweet.
Most of the time, it's completely pointless when they do that.
Yeah. I don't like it. Rampage,
I haven't even seen it.
What's
I don't
up,
like it.
man? Rampage is here.
Rampage. All right, share that to my Facebook. I'll open up the Twitch chat too.
She's so loud.
Was that your cat?
No, it's my girlfriend.
I gotcha.
It's like, be quiet. All right.
Be quiet.
So I miss having
Wait for
my
that ad to
own,
finish.
So I miss having my office in my old house. You could just shut the door and be alone.
There was, I forgot where exactly I saw it, but I found like an old thumbnail of us from doing a show like 2 or 3 years ago of you in your old house and me in my like old room.
Mm-hmm.
It was because it was back when I had longer hair and was like 30 pounds heavier.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, holy shit, that's a walk down memory lane.
Yep.
I was like, and how different are the situations that we're both in right now?
No kidding.
But for the better.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I'm pretty much good to go. I've got everything. I got all my levels set. Everything's good. Get this stupid cord out of the way.
Shout out to Armez Jackson, who's watching on Facebook Live.
Oh, I don't even go on Facebook anymore. Rampage. Oh, but I do know what you're talking about. The new Facebook desktop. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
That thing's gross. But yeah, I haven't been on Facebook in 2 weeks, and I don't plan on going back. So
it reflects the climate of Facebook.
Yeah, it does.
If I'm being honest.
Well,
I got to remember to put in the show notes. I got to plug my Patreon.
Oh yeah. Plug your Patreon, and don't forget we got to plug the Discord too.
Yep. I will.
Staff Sergeant Sketch got a Switch today. Nice.
Sweet.
Welcome to the show. We haven't started yet, but.
All right. Those are in the show notes.
All right. Well, let me go ahead
and
kill this here. And I'm good to go. You ready?
Yep. I've got all the tabs open, so I'm all set when you are.
All right. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Do you like this show and you want to help support us? Do you want us to stay ad-free? Do you want extra episodes every month? Of course you do. Then head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro and become a Patreon supporter of this very show. Greetings, programs, and welcome to another episode of the Nerd Cave Retro Show. My name is Jason Robbins.
And my name is Derek Diamond.
See, I'm nervous to say welcome back to another episode like I used to do all the time. It feels weird not to say it, but I got taken to task on Twitter last week, and now I'm scared to say it.
Who took you to task?
Oh, there's this podcaster that I listen to. His name's Patrick Beja. He's French, and he's on The Instance. And he put up a big rant on Facebook about how he hates when podcasters say "welcome back" to another episode of something. And then he like went on this whole like diatribe, and I feel personally attacked, and he wrote back, and he was like, well, if the shoe fits. So I was like, man,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even I feel uncomfortable saying it now.
well, anytime that someone, even if it's indirectly, calls you out on some type of flaw or something that you're doing, it makes you a bit self-conscious. Because I know recently with my show, because I always say welcome to the Derek Diamond Experience podcast, and I used to yell welcome really loudly, like way higher than the
Yeah.
rest of the intro. So the last like 3 weeks I've been trying to just bring it down from like a 10 to about a 6.
Yeah. Oh man, getting some dropped frames on the Twitch feed. So if anybody's seeing us skip, I may have to end the stream and restart it. So just let me know how it's going, because I'm not watching the actual stream. So those of you in the chat room, let me know. But other than that, how has your week been?
It's been good. I was actually fortunate enough to last night, we're recording this on Wednesday night. I restarted my bar trivia career at a new-ish brewery in town called Coastal County.
Yeah.
They actually opened back in March, 3 days before everything started to shut down.
Yeah.
Due to the pandemic. So did that last night, had a blast, actually had a really good turnout. Food was good, drinks were good. So I'll be doing trivia there every Tuesday for the foreseeable future.
That's cool.
Other than that, I'll talk about this at the end of the show, but there's an exciting new element to my show that I'm incorporating later this week. But other than that, just doing the usual work stuff, trying to stay a bit ahead of the game as far as like work trivia goes and everything. So
Yeah.
just been busy with that.
Not too much going on my end. I'm actually getting signed up to do a Ninja Gaiden tournament next week on Twitch. Retro Game Brews is putting it on, and I get my time slot this Friday. So if you're interested in watching me do it, I have a 2-hour time limit to get as far as I can in the game. And yeah, I'll give my time slot on Friday and let everybody know when it's going to be. And just join me. It's going to be really good for my channel, and it's going to be fun to do. So keep an eye out on my Twitter this Friday. Once I get my my time slot, I'll let everybody know. Mixmaster has joined us in the chat. What's up, Mixmaster? Usuals are starting to pour in. I'm sorry if the stream is a little messed up right now. For some reason, I am having dropped frames, and I have no idea why.
You got to love technology. And also, I do want to shout out, because we're also broadcasting on Facebook as well. Shout out to Patreon member Armez Jackson, who's watching on Facebook Live. So good crowd tonight.
Hell yeah. Well, let's go ahead and move into the news, shall we?
Sure.
This comes to us from I Am the Rampage to our nerdcaveretro@gmail.com email account. This from Destructoid.com. Street Fighter producer Yoshinori Ono leaving Capcom after nearly a 30-year tenure. He has announced his departure from Capcom after an amazing career with the developer spanning 3 decades. Ono will resign from his roles as Street Fighter executive producer and general Capcom brand manager sometime this summer. He thanked fans in the FGC for supporting him throughout his tenure, referencing the good times, bad times, and non-existent times he has experienced while producing the Street Fighter franchise. He said, "My heart is filled with appreciation to those players who've been giving warm and kind support on the brand." He ended his statement with trademark Shoryuken battle cry. He was originally a sound producer in the early 90s. He worked with franchises such as Mega Man, Muscle Bomber, Breath of Fire, and Devil May Cry. before transitioning to more managerial roles on titles Onimusha Dawn of Dreams, Dead Rising, Shadow of Rome, and Capcom Fighting Jam. He's considered the driving force behind Street Fighter's spectacular 2008 comeback, which by then was essentially a dead franchise by Capcom. He lobbied hard for the Street Fighter 4 and its back-to-basics theoretic, with the sequel launching to incredible success. So this dude's had quite an incredible career, and we want to wish him Godspeed on everything he's going to enjoy in his retirement. Now maybe he has some time to play some games.
Absolutely. I think especially in the age of things not lasting very long,
Yeah.
to hear someone leaving after a near 30-year career is a really great accomplishment. So, props to him for all he's done for the gaming industry, because you think Street Fighter, you think of one of the most successful franchise, not just for console, but you got to think in arcades as well.
Yeah.
He's left quite the legacy in the gaming world.
Absolutely.
No, that's fantastic. I feel like you put this story in here for me.
I did.
So this comes to us from NintendoLife.com. Rare turns 35 this week, and they picked 10 highlights from the Nintendo years. 3.5 decades ago this week, British developer Rare was formed. Formerly known as Ultimate Play the Game, the company was created with the express purpose of creating titles for the NES, and from the mid-1980s until the early 2000s, the Twycross-based team would deliver some of the finest video games on Nintendo platforms. Nintendo was actually so impressed with Rare's output that an acquisition or two led to it becoming a second-party developer, and in that period it produced several genre-defining classics on Nintendo's 16 and 64-bit consoles, which we all know that Microsoft acquired Rare in the early 2000s, in 2002 to be specific. And they're still around, they're still making games, but it's still nothing like the legacy that they had with Nintendo. And they actually list some of the best games that Rare made for Nintendo, and that includes Super RC Pro-Am for Game Boy, Battletoads for NES.
I don't know why they put Battletoads on here, because I tried to play that on stream a few weeks ago. It was not easy. That game is incredibly hard.
I played the Super Nintendo one, and I made it like half an hour and was like, I can't do it. I cannot do it. But of course, they developed the Donkey Kong Country series as well. GoldenEye, which is one of the greatest N64 games of all time. The Banjo-Kazooie series, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and Perfect Dark. So they left quite a legacy with Nintendo, and I wish that there was some way that those two companies could get back together. I think with Banjo-Kazooie being in Smash Brothers Ultimate, it could be the start of something. If worst case scenario, it's actually being able to play games like Banjo-Kazooie on the Switch. And they recently added Donkey Kong Country, so maybe there is hope that something will happen down the line between Nintendo and Rare.
I didn't know that they did Jet Force Gemini. I liked that game. That's another one I wish that they would redo and put on the Switch. That was a fun game. I forgot all about Jet Force Gemini until just now. And I was like, man, I like that game.
I'm telling you, if they did a remaster of GoldenEye, it would make some serious money.
The thing is, if they redid it, they would have to do it. They would have to completely rebuild it. Not, of course, they'd have to redo it from the ground up, but it would have to be more of a more like a four. Well, it'd be like a 4-player Call of Duty, but I don't know if those games could do well in this day and age. In the age of the the battle royale type of scenario. I mean, could you do just a 4-player online experience or whatever? I mean, I would play it. Us older people would play it, because I honestly, I don't really like the big battle royale type games. I tried to play Fortnite for a bit. I really didn't like it. I played it for like 3 or 4 hours, and I was like, yep, I think I'm done.
Same. Yeah, I briefly tried playing it, and because I just wanted to see what the hype was about, because everyone was talking about Fortnite, but I just couldn't get into it. Mixmaster in the chat says he was mad at the Microsoft acquisition. I was too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When that was announced, a small part of my childhood died that day.
Yeah. He says he has Jet Force Gemini, but never played it. You need to play it. Yeah, I mean, I know
I very
Fortnite.
briefly played it.
He says Fortnite is a bad example. I guess so. I never tried to play like PUBG. I know Wally really loves the new Call of Duty games, but I don't know. I kind of feel like my twitchy, shooter, first-person shooter online gaming days are behind me because I just don't have I can't compete with those 12-year-olds, man. I just can't do it. I don't have the twitchy finger speed that I used to have back in the day.
Well, yeah, you play those games and you last about 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. I want another Halo experience where you just have, all your friends together and you playing and you're talking crap to one another and you're drinking some drinks and having some pizza and just having a good old time playing video games together. That's what I miss. I don't want to play 100 or 99 other strangers that are talking about how, they're doing sexual acts on my mother. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, why hear that online when chances are one of your friends would probably say it?
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather, slap a friend upside the head than, a total stranger.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at least I give the friend the credit for saying it to your face.
Yeah.
So there's now one of my big ideas for 2021, what I want to do for an episode of this show is do a Halo centric show because next year is the 20-year anniversary of the original Halo game.
Mm.
And I want to bring on, like, you mentioned Wally and I had mentioned Robbie. Just bring those two on and we can just tell some fun Halo stories.
Yes. Let's do that. Let's do a Halo roundtable.
That honestly could be like the first episode of 2021.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good idea. We could record it over the holidays.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I would absolutely love that. But you just my quick wrap up on Rare. I mean, I've said it multiple times. It's my favorite collaboration between gaming studios. It was the perfect marriage, and
yeah,
it's like that couple that you really like, whether it's in high school or college, and it breaks your heart to see them not together anymore.
Yeah,
that's what Nintendo and Rare was for me.
They're going to get back together eventually. It's got to take time.
Yeah. And when that happens, I will run through my neighborhood screaming.
This next story is from PSU.com. The rumor is Grand Theft Auto 6, likely set in Vice City, suggests retro 80s synthwave project. Rockstar Games is keeping its card close to the chest in regards to Grand Theft Auto 6, but fresh rumors about the crime juggernaut have suggested that it could be set in Vice City. According to Pete Rice's retro 80s synthwave project Vectorhold, which specializes in sound design and production for 80s/90s retro gaming soundtracks and filming scoring. According to Rice, folk involved in music rights clearing have started to contact synthwave artists for a radio station, which suggests that Vice City could make a comeback in the new GTA. This should be taken with a pinch of salt, as nothing official has been confirmed. But to be honest, you probably won't hear much about GTA 6 for a while, especially since Rockstar is looking to bring GTA 5 to the PS5 and Xbox Series X in 2021, which is crazy because GTA 5 is like 6-7 years old now, and it's still like the online component is like one of the most used online gaming whatever right now, and there's still that game has made Rockstar billions of dollars at this point, and I've never played it.
I haven't either. It tells you the success of it if they're gonna port it to the PS5 and the Xbox X.
Mm-hmm. The last one I played was Vice City. That was the last GTA I played.
I can't remember the one that came out after it. It might have been San Andreas. I
No, I think San Andreas was 3 because I played San Andreas, and I think Vice City was the one that came right after it, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, it might have been. I can't remember what it was, but I briefly played the one after that. But Vice City is still to this day far and above my favorite
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto game.
I'm kind of
So if you
excited
want to,
about that. If they bring Vice City back, I'll jump back into GTA
oh,
in a
absolutely.
heartbeat.
I loved Vice City. Everything from the gameplay, the soundtrack was incredible.
Okay, yeah. So, Staff Sergeant Sketch said Vice City came before San Andreas, so San Andreas was the last one that I played.
Okay, that's what I had thought because I remember briefly playing it, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't resonate with me as much as Vice City did.
Dude, I can still remember the TV commercials for Vice City. You remember it?
Oh yeah, it made the song "I Ran from a Flock of Seagulls"
Uh-huh.
relevant again.
That was such a cool commercial. That commercial is what got me to play the game.
Yeah,
Because I'm such
they don't
a
make game
freak.
commercials like they used to.
I'm a freak for anything 80s. And if you throw Flock of Seagulls at me and, like Miami Vice style uh, trailer at me, you've got me. You got my money.
When we're done with the show, I should send you the graphics I've made for work because next week we're doing 80s trivia. And
Yeah.
I've made some really cool stuff that I think you'll like. So I'll since you're an 80s nut, I'll send it over to you for you to take a look at.
Mike Mixmaster says I should review GTA 3. I actually wouldn't mind. I like the old GTA games. Um, Especially San Andreas. Like, I had such a good time playing that game because it was all like, 90s style hip hop, like, I don't know, kind of that whole Compton era of the 90s. Like, that was just something cool. Like, Vice City and that one are so cool. I'd love to review those.
Absolutely. No, that'd be fun. But for our last story for the week, this comes to us from CNN.com. Nintendo profit jumps more than 400% thanks to the Switch and Animal Crossing. The Japanese company posted another round of blockbuster earnings Thursday, proving that its hot streak from the pandemic is far from over. The company said it made 145 billion yen, which equates to $1.37 billion in the United States, and operating profit for the quarter ended June, marking a 428% surge compared to the same time a year ago. That blew away expectations from analysts who had estimated about 62 billion yen of profit, according to the data provided by Refinitiv. It also doubled sales from a year ago, taking in about 358 billion yen, which equates to 3.4 billion. Holy shit.
Nintendo has all the money.
Yes.
Dude, it says here 22.4 million copies of Animal Crossing. Just Animal
That's
Crossing.
nuts.
What is the highest selling game of all time? Let me Google that real quick.
What would be the highest selling video game of all time? I mean, I don't know if it would be like
I don't
of the
know
modern
if
era, like it's got to be up there.
I don't know if the original Super Mario Brothers counts because it was a pack-in game.
Yeah.
It says right now Minecraft is the highest selling video game of all time with 176 million copies. That's like that's a third of the population of America.
Yeah, so 1 in 3
Crazy.
people would have a copy of Minecraft.
All right, let's see here. We got IGN with the top 10 best-selling video games of all time. Number 10 is Diablo 3 with 30 plus million. That was a great game. Wii Sports Resort with 33.9. Mario Kart Wii 37.14 million. Number 7, Super Mario Brothers, 40 million. Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, Yellow, 45 million. PlayerUnknown Battleground, 50 million. Wii Sports, 82.86. Grand Theft Auto 5 with 110 million units sold. Number 2,
Man.
Minecraft with 200 million. Tetris. Holy shit, dude. Tetris is the number 1 selling video game of all time. Just take a guess. how many copies Tetris has sold.
What was number 2 again?
Number 2 was Minecraft with 200 million.
I will say 450.
You're close. 500 million copies of
Good
Tetris.
God.
That's 500 million copies of Tetris has been sold to this day.
Wow.
I wonder if all that money
I don't even know what to say to that.
Does all that money still go back to the Russian government? Or does it go to the guy that actually made Tetris?
If it goes to the guy that made Tetris, change his name to Scrooge McDuck.
Dude, like, that's unreal.
That's nuts. I can't believe that.
Wow.
500 million. Holy
500
crap.
million copies. And I just saw something the other day. I was actually going to put it in the news, but it just happened. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Switch just outsold the original NES to be the second highest selling Nintendo console. I think it's right above like 70 million or 60 million, something like that. And then the Wii is the highest selling with, I think, 105 or 109 million units, something like that.
Yeah, my guess would have been the Wii is number 1 just because it was like the ultimate casual gamer system.
Oh, going back to GTA, the RC plane can burn in the pits of Tartarus. I remember that part. I hated that part in the game. But I will tell you one thing that GTA San Andreas did teach me. It taught me how to back up a truck with a trailer. And that's the truth.
You can learn from video games.
Yeah, you can learn all kind of things from video games.
Rampage says he didn't like any of the GTA games.
Really? I guess it's I don't know. I guess it's kind of
I can see it being an acquired taste.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
Especially being kind of an early, really open world game that it was, because it was kind of there wasn't a linear storyline to it. You just kind of went around and did jobs for people, and there's a storyline you're following, but it's not like it's not like Breath of the Wild, where you have this main storyline you're going through, and you're more or less like pushed in the right directions when you need to go, do certain things. But I feel like with the old GTA games, it's sort of like you just sort of stumbled across stuff. Yeah, I kind of agree, Rampage. It's too fetchy. But then again, that's pretty much every MMO and RPG ever made is fetch quests. So that's direct lineage of RPGs.
Yeah.
But
no,
anyway,
I agree.
You ready to move into this month in video game history?
Yes.
Let's do it. On August of 1982, Nintendo releases Donkey Kong Jr., the sequel to Donkey Kong.
Also, the only game to feature Mario as the villain.
Yes.
Because you're trying to rescue Donkey Kong from Mario.
I was never a big fan of Donkey Kong Jr. I like the original Donkey Kong.
Oh, absolutely. No, the first one is, to me, if you were to make a list of the 5 most important video games ever made, I think Donkey Kong would be on it.
Yeah, and
because it revolutionized a genre and introduced the character of Mario.
And 3 is just weird because you got to spray bug spray up Donkey Kong's ass, and that's just.
I tried playing that recently. I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
How did this get made? It's like, it's not Mission Impossible bad.
Yeah.
Very few things are.
Not much is Mission Impossible bad, except for Superman 64, things like that.
And yeah, we should go back. A segment that we should do for our 200th show is the 5 worst games we've ever reviewed.
Yeah. I
think those 3 have to go on it.
Oh yeah, Fester's Quest is up there. Trying to think of some others. I know I've played some pretty bad games on this show.
I have to go back through our discography.
Yeah.
And look and see. But what is a good game? August 15th, 1987, Nintendo releases Metroid by Motoko Kano, the first in the Metroid series.
Yeah, I was just
Love me some
watching
Metroid.
Arcus, this guy on Twitch that I watch a lot. He holds the Ninja Gaiden world record. He's preparing to do what's called the Big 20. It's this big tournament with speedrunners coming up in September where they have to complete tasks for 20 different original Nintendo games. And he's been practicing, and I watched him play through Metroid earlier.
Nice. No, Metroid's a great game.
Let's see, August 26th of 1989, Nintendo releases the Zelda Game & Watch. Now, that's something I wish I could come across at a yard sale as a Game & Watch.
I've never played the Zelda Game & Watch. I know for the Game Boy, Nintendo released what was called the Game & Watch Gallery Collection.
Mm-hmm.
It had a lot of those old games, but I never played like the physical Game & Watch system. But I do want to play the Zelda one at some point because it's one of the few Zelda games I've never played.
I didn't know they were still making Game & Watches by 89, because didn't the Game Boy come out in 89?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Well, you think they were still making NES games up until like 4 years after the SNES came out?
True. Yeah. But I just didn't know they were still making Game & Watches by that time.
That's actually a good trivia question if you do like video game trivia. What was the first handheld system released by Nintendo? It's not the Game Boy.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. In August of 1990, Pit Fighter from Atari Games introduces digitized sprites to arcade fighting games. I loved playing this in the arcade, but man, the ports to the Super Nintendo was terrible. I never played it on the... did they make a Genesis one? I'm sure they did.
Yes, they did.
Okay. Yeah, it was terrible, but the arcade version was pretty fun.
Yeah, I like the cover of just like the big muscular dude punching the other guy. I dig it. On August 14th, 1995, the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, is discontinued in North America. So that's 4 years after almost to the day that the Super Nintendo came out, because the SNES came out in late August.
Dude, that's almost, like you said, almost 25 years to the day. On Friday, it will be 25 years exactly that it was discontinued. Wow. I'm getting old, man. I don't like it.
We all are.
Let's see. August 25th of 97, GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64 is released. What else? What more can we say about GoldenEye 007?
Top 5 N64 game. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can only have 5 games in your collection for the N64, GoldenEye's got to be on there.
Yeah.
One of the few film adaptations that actually worked, which I mean, people say that it was like, people love it for the multiplayer, but the story mode was fun too. I mean, it's pretty much the same as the movie, but
yeah.
I had fun playing through the campaign.
I remember playing through the campaign, but mostly it was playing the multiplayer with friends. That was the 99% of it.
Yeah. Let's see. August 5th of 1999, Namco releases Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast in Japan. I never played the original, but I did play the second one. I think we might have mentioned this last week, but when Soul Calibur 2 came out, they had the console exclusives, and I got the GameCube one because it had Link as a playable character.
Yeah. And this was the one that had wasn't this the one that had Yoda as one of the downloadable characters? Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that. And for our last,
it wasn't a bad game.
Yeah, I remember playing it a little bit. Was it for the Xbox 360 or was it the original Xbox? I don't remember. Let me look this up real quick.
Soul Calibur 2 would have been, I think, for the original Xbox.
It was for the Xbox 360. It came out July 2nd of 2008.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
It's not a bad game.
Learn new something every day.
Yep.
Here, let's see. What is it? August 1st of 2000, WWF Royal Rumble is released for arcades and the Sega Dreamcast. I never
So
played
I felt
Royal
like
Rumble.
I never played this one, but a couple of years before this, and to me, like the mid to late 90s, is when wrestling games started to become decent. Like
Yeah.
the graphics still weren't great, but the gameplay was a lot better. Like I loved playing like WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy for the N64. I briefly played a WCW game for the PlayStation, but I love those games mostly just to, create myself and create friends, and we all just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Those were fun to do.
they were talking about Arcus in the chat room for a minute, and Mixmaster added him, and yeah, Arcus is the Bob Ross of video games. I've never seen anybody that can play Ninja Gaiden and never get angry at anything ever. The dude never gets angry ever. No matter how hard a game is, he never gets angry.
It's not death, it's a happy accident.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'm serious. His channel is almost like ASMR to me. If I put it on in the afternoons when I get home from work, it like gently lulls me into a nap for a little while.
That's awesome.
But before we go into the review tonight, Derek has shout outs.
Yes, so as always, we like to give a shout out to our awesome patrons over at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. We want to shout out Armez Jackson, Axeblade07, Daniel Salmon, John Jekyll, aka Mixmaster, Carlos Longoria, Staff Sergeant Sketch, and Randy Bailey. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights on for us. And because we are still at that $50 level, we will be actually in the next couple of weeks recording our commentary track for Street Fighter.
Sweet. I can't wait for that. I'm so excited.
I am too. I might actually watch the movie before we do the commentary.
You know what? I might do
I
that
haven't
this
seen
time.
that movie in years.
I'm going to do that this time. I want to watch it beforehand.
It's a fun movie. I'm excited to talk about it. Like there's a certain level of bad that is entertaining and good, and that's what Street Fighter is to me.
You know what we need to do? We need to review Street Fighter, the movie, the game. Did you ever play that
I'm down
one?
with that. I have not.
It's the movie's based off a game, and then they make a game based off of movie that's based off a game. How do you like that's so freaking meta.
I just love that title, Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Yeah, based off the game, like based off Street. It's like Street Fighter, the movie, the game, based off Street Fighter, the game, or something like that. I'm like, okay.
I love it. No, I think that's actually a really good idea. I've never played it, but I will be more than happy to.
Awesome. I'm down for reviewing that. I know it's bad, but I think it's like it'd be funny to review it.
For sure. But back to Patreon, if you guys want to contribute to our Patreon and be part of the Patreon family, just head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro.
Oh yeah, Rampage said he had it, the movie, the game for Saturn. So he knows. He knows.
He said it was cool.
And tonight I'm going to be talking about That's not very loud. I'm sorry. It was as loud as I could get it. Goblin Sword for the Nintendo Switch is a 2D action platformer created by developer, I'm going to destroy this, by developer Eleftherios Christodoulatos. I hope I even got remotely close to saying his name right.
If you got that correct, you should get an achievement. Like like little icon pops up. It's called the Wordsmith Achievement.
Yeah. The game was released for iOS on the 11th of September 2014 and Nintendo Switch on February 20th, 2020. I wonder why it took so long to get to the Switch. 6 years, that's a long time.
Yeah.
The game involves slaying as many monsters as a player can, collect loot, avoid dangerous traps, and defeat menacing bosses before facing the evil wizard himself. It has 89 levels each with 2 treasure chests, usually hidden behind a fake wall. There are also crystals which are collected to unlock secret levels. In the game, there is a limited amount of health. Every time a player gets hit, they lose 1 heart. If the player was to fall down a pit, they would lose all health. There are currently 24 weapons and relics, as well as 36 achievements in the game. It's set in a medieval fantasy genre and has settings such as forests, caves, and castles. When you kill a monster, you will receive coins or a group of coins called a gem. These coins can be used to buy things such as weapons or armor. It has main areas including Great Forest, Ancient Castle, Dark Caves, Lost City, and Sacred Ruins. And there are also several bosses in the game. When I first started, I didn't know what to expect when I downloaded this a few weeks ago. I was looking for something cool to play, and kind of just came across this in the eShop and looked at the trailer for it. I was thinking, this looks kind of cool. I'm gonna check this out, and so I downloaded it. I think I bought it for like, what was it on sale? Do you remember? It was just like 99
It
cents
was
or something.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very cheap. So I got it and started playing it, and it had a very and I don't know why. I got a lot of Zelda vibes off this game for some reason, but it's not really Zelda-like because it's a 2D platformer. But the thing that I noticed most about the game is its simplicity and its controls. It has the tightest controls of any like retro style game I've ever played on the Switch, and I think that really lends to how much I really enjoy playing the game because, like I said, it's simplistic. You have your different areas. You have your forest areas, a castle, dark caves, a lost city, sacred ruins, and you go through, and each section has something like 16 or 18 different areas within that section that you have to get through, and you have like a mini boss and then a whole a boss for that level. And you go through each section, and you got to find the 2 treasure chests, which are always hidden in each section, and then you've got 3 gems to get in that level. And I don't know what it is about that game, but it totally captured me as far as wanting to just go through those levels again and again, looking for the treasure chests and all the gems, and then going back to the store to upgrade my armor or buy a new sword. A new relic, which my favorite relic in the game at this point is there's a relic you can get. It's a ring that summons the Grim Reaper. So you're just running around and you have the Grim Reaper over your shoulder, and he attacks other enemies for you, and it's awesome. He's got it, the Sith, the scythe, and he just like flies over and just starts whacking people with the scythe, and I'm like, that's awesome. So what you've been playing it too? What have you been? What did you think about it?
So for me, you told me multiple times that I should get the game and that I would really like it. So I downloaded it, and I had enough coins saved up to where I only had to pay like 30 cents to get it. So it was insane the price that I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those games that, I can usually tell pretty quickly if I'm going to like a game or not within the first like 30 seconds of me playing it. But as soon as I started, I felt like I was playing the Super Nintendo again.
Yes.
And I love that. Like in it, and I know that, looks aren't that important when it comes to a game, but I'll use them in this case because it looks like it belongs on the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
And to me, my immediate thought of it is this is Zelda 2 done right.
Yes.
I got that little bit of a Zelda vibe like you did.
Mm-hmm.
But Zelda 2, had that 2D, almost like a platforming aspect to it.
Yeah.
But everything from what you collect, the treasure that you find. It gives you a reason to keep going back. And the cool thing is each well, not each chest, but every now and then you'll get like an important item. You know, you get like the certain number of potions to increase your health.
Yeah.
That gives you a reason to keep going back to those levels and trying to find the chest, because some of them are really well hidden.
Yeah.
There's some that I still haven't found, and the fact that each level is so big, where it has, I believe it's 18. I believe you were correct on that. There's the mini boss, then the final boss, but it just keeps, you keep having reasons to go back and
Yep.
try and collect everything, and then get more cash so you can upgrade your armor, upgrade your weapons. That's my one sentence sum up of it,
Hmm.
is that it made me feel like a kid again playing the Super Nintendo, and it was, if Zelda 2 were done right, it
Yeah.
would be Goblin Sword.
And it's just it's scratching some kind of itch that I didn't know I had. Like I feel so like there's a sense of accomplishment in the game when you can get through a level and you find everything you're supposed to get in that level, and you move on to the next area, and you kind of feel like it's one of those games, like it's tough, but it's not so hard that it's frustrating because the controls are so good. It's just sort of like, I know I can do this better. And I know
Mhm.
that, okay, here's an area I haven't checked out yet. And then you find your way up onto this ledge, and then the wall ends up being invisible, and you find that chest you've been looking for the last 30 minutes, and you're like, oh, finally I found it. And there's just this weird sense of accomplishment with it. And I don't know. It's just there's just something about this game. There's like a charm to it, like the way it looks, the way it plays. It, like you said, it feels like it would have fit right on the Super Nintendo back in 1992. Like you would have had, like this would have been a game on the Super Nintendo, and I would have played it until my eyes bugged out of my head, just because it scratches that weird itch of wanting to like find all the secret areas, and doing this crazy platforming. And the platforming, it can get pretty crazy, and it was like when you master like the double jump, and you get like this huge gap, and there will be like a gem way down at the bottom of the screen, so you got to jump, let yourself fall, and you get that gem, and then hit the button again, and you jump back up. And there's just something totally satisfying about that, and you're just like, I can't believe I just made that jump. And then you get like an upgrade. There's another relic that lets you do a triple jump, that
I haven't got that one yet.
yeah. And I'm just like, all right, well, now I know there's going to be levels where you have to use a triple jump to get where you need to go. And Rampage said it's 4.99 on Switch, and it's completely worth it. It is worth
Yes.
more than $5. If I could, I would have given them 15 easily for this game.
Well, I think you bring up a good point, is that, something that's fairly common that we do on the show is we talk about the games that we played when we were kids and how they had that unique charm.
Mm-hmm.
This has that charm because it feels like a game that we would have played back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why both you and I liked it so much,
Yeah.
or a big reason why.
It's like I'm trying to compare it to something, but I don't really know what to compare it to. But like you said, this is what Zelda 2 shoulda, could have been. I guess I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something that was on the Super Nintendo that I could compare this to, but there's not really, because it's just, I don't know. Like you can tell the people that made it, and it's only two guys that made this game. One programmed it, and the programmer was John Christodoulatos, and I guess his brother Lefteris Christodoulatos, and they are not American, and it's just two guys. And then the developer was Eleftherios. I guess that must be their company or whatever. But it's just two brothers made this game. One made the art, one programmed it. And you can tell they were fans of, the sword and the beat 'em up platform, sword and magic, like Nintendo games, because maybe it's kind of closer to like a Wizards and Warriors type of game, because it does kind of have that look to it. Like if Wizards and Warriors was a 16-bit game, but way better controls. Like imagine Wizards and Warriors if it had tight controls, and it's that kind of aesthetic to it.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that.
But man, I gotta tell, I'm not even. I think I've only opened up so far the first forest area, the castle, the dark caves, and then there's another ancient castle that pops up. I think it was the ancient castle, or maybe the sacred ruin in that first part of the map. And then there's another second part of the map, but there's like a fourth area that opens up on the first part of the map, and I'm on the fourth area now. I just finished the dark caves, and I can't stop playing this damn game, man. I can't. It's so good.
No, I've really started because I didn't start playing it until this past weekend. But anytime I've had extra time to spare, I've been playing this game. I'm not as far along as you are, but man, this game has really sucked me in.
Yeah, once you start
I can't wait to keep playing it.
once you start getting the different relics and things like that, like you get one that has like a dragon, a baby dragon that follows you around. One that has the Grim Reaper that follows you around. There's one that there's a relic. It's a vest that you put on that I had to use on the last level of the dark caves area, where I had to jump into the lava to get to where I needed to go. And there's a vest that makes you immune to lava. So the different relics that you get are for getting you through certain areas, and you're going to know which relic you need to use when you get to that certain area. So you'll have to, either quit that area, go back to the shop, and either buy the relic or put the relic on, if you already have it in your inventory. And there's a lot of it is you have a home, a house too that you go to, and you have different quests that you have to do throughout the game. Also, I forgot to mention there's quests that you do during the game. There's like put out 10 braziers, and collect this sword, collect this relic, do this, like kill this many enemies. And that's another aspect of the game that captures your attention, and you're just like, okay, well, I gotta extinguish 10 braziers. How do I do that? Well, you have a sword that is a water-based sword that that when you swing it, it's kind of, the sword itself is made of water. And another cool thing is you have a magic meter too. We didn't even talk about this. You have a magic meter, and your swords, each sword has a different kind of secondary magical aspect to it. like the water sword, when your magic meter is full and you get these little orbs when you're going through the level, and the little orbs will fill up your magic meter, and that makes your sword that much stronger, because it uses the magic that the sword has. And like the water shoots out this this ball of water that then explodes and like sends all these projectiles across the screen, killing everything in your path. And there's another sword that I liked using that it's like a big, huge broadsword, and the secondary aspect was that you throw it, and it spins across the stage, or the screen, and it kills everything in its path. And you can run and jump, and it will follow you wherever you go. So you can just kind of keep the sword behind you, like spinning, and it just takes out whatever, any enemy in its path. And it's so cool.
I'm starting to learn that about the sword aspect now because I think it might be called the dark sword
Mm-hmm.
or something like that that has a
Yeah.
different ability than the sword you start with.
Yeah.
So I'm just now starting to learn, like going to the shop and finding the different armor and the different swords that have the different abilities that you can use. So
Yeah.
that's a really fun aspect of the game.
Yeah, it's really cool because, like you said, every single weapon, whether it's a sword or a pole arm, they all have a secondary magical aspect to them, and it's all different. And you can use each one to help you achieve a quest. Throughout the game. Like I said, there's one that. Thank you for the Nerd Cave retro rules in the chat room.
Yeah, that was great.
But yeah, like I said, there was a quest to where you have to extinguish 10 braziers, and you use that water sword to extinguish them as you're going through the level. And once you get 10, that quest is finished. So it's really, there's just so much for as simple as the game is. There's just everything about it is designed to make you want to keep going and keep finishing the quests and getting upgrades and all that stuff. So it's got that slight RPG aspect to it that just it's totally scratches that itch.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of like a multi-genre facet to it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a good marriage, like a good mix of different aspects because you have the platforming, you have the RPG when it comes to collecting items, and you have the different quests and everything. So I love when games like that can almost combine genres, but it doesn't necessarily feel like they're trying to combine genres. It's just a successful game.
Yeah. And as far as some of the reviews, the aggregate reviews on Metacritic, it's got an 80 out of 100 on Metacritic. Touch Arcade praised its difficulty level. Mac Rumors considered it one of their top 5 iOS apps worth checking out. I'm gonna say it's probably one of the best indie games you can get for the Nintendo Switch. And even at $5, I think I only paid like 99 cents for it on sale. But even at $5, it's completely 100% worth it. If you're a listener of this show, then you like a certain type of video game, and this video game is that game.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
out of a scale of 1 to 10, I don't like to give perfect scores, but I can't find anything about this game to bitch about. So it's gonna get a 10 out of 10.
I love it. No, I don't disagree with that score. Granted, I haven't played it as much as you do, but like you, I haven't seen anything that I would really bash about it.
I mean, it's perfectly polished to be such a meaty little game by two guys. It's kind of like Super Meat Boy. I mean, I know that game is ridiculously difficult, Super Meat Boy, but this game's kind of in the spirit of that two-man team or two-person team making this really good, like every nook and cranny has been thought about, and it you can tell this game was made with love and love for the genre and love for this era of gaming. And I cannot believe that it's not on every platform. Like, you should be able to get this on the PlayStation, you should be able to play this on Xbox Live. Like, this is crazy that it's not everywhere right now.
You would think that it would be,
Uh,
maybe
I would
eventually.
I would think it would be on Steam too. Like, this is a perfect Steam game.
That's the most surprising one to me. I thought it was honestly available for the Switch and for Steam,
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
that is not the case.
But anyway, I can't recommend it enough. If you have a Switch, and I am completely in love with the Switch as far as trying to find really good indie games. And the Switch, if you're an indie gamer and you like indie games, the Switch is the place to be because you're going to find stuff like this all the time. And this game is what the Switch was made for. It's perfect for the Switch.
Absolutely.
But that's going to bring us to the end. And anything else you'd like to throw out there before we leave tonight?
Well, the two things. So, first, we wanted to talk about the Nerd Cave Retro Discord, which has grown exponentially since we started it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to be a part of the fun community, I know I don't communicate every single day, but I love seeing the interaction that everyone does. And what I'll do is, right after the show's posted, I'll also post a link where you can sign up to the Discord that won't expire. So you can just follow us on Twitter at Nerd Cave Retro, and we'll post the link there.
Yeah, please, please, come be a part of our community. We got so many cool people in our community now on our Discord, and it's all day long. Like we're just in there talking about stuff and laughing, sharing memes. So and it's such a like great respite from the ugliness that is social media. So if you're looking for a cool community to be a part of, come over to the Nerd Cave Retro Discord and be a part of our awesome community.
Absolutely. No, it's fantastic. But the other thing I wanted to throw out there is this is something that I've been thinking about doing for my show probably dating back to last year. And that is this Friday, I'm finally launching the Derek Diamond Experience Patreon.
Woo!
It will be this Friday. I won't take up too much time, but I'll just briefly go over the three tiers that are available. So there's the $3 level, which gets you early access to episodes. Because what I'm going to start doing is batch recording. So that way I have episodes in the can, weeks in advance. So I haven't decided if it's going to be up to a week advance or maybe like 3 or 4 days before it's available to the public. But you get early access to episodes as well as a shout out on air and on social media. Then I forgot to mention that's called the production assistant category. It's cheesy names, but I love them. Then there's the producer tier, which is $5 a month, where in addition to those two things, you get to vote to decide the topic of what will be a monthly roundtable episode, whether it's about an aspect of the film industry like editing, writing, or just a fun discussion about a movie or a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you've ever listened to any of my interviews and you're like, why didn't you ask this question? You get the chance to ask. You get to submit questions. And what I'll do is I'll post like thread, hey, I'm interviewing so-and-so. If you want to leave a question, I'll read it on the air. But then there's the director tier, which is $10 a month. You get all of that. Plus, I will be doing a monthly Q&A, not just about film, but just anything that you'd want to talk about. If I make up to $20 a month, then I will do an extra episode, likely some type of like a roundtable discussion. And I will be doing if the show gets up to $30 a month, I will be doing a monthly giveaway that you can have a chance to win some cool prizes.
Fantastic.
So it'll be at patreon.com/DDiamondPodcast. That launches this upcoming Friday. And it will have if you sign up on Friday, you will get access to what will be the following week's episode because I'm doing 2 interviews tomorrow. So
awesome.
You'll get to start right off with some exclusive content. It's something I've gone back and forth on for a while, but I figured I'm not going to know if it works unless I actually do it.
Yeah. Mixmaster asks us if our only other shows are Open Micers and Derek Diamond Experience. Yes. Open Micers is my other podcast that I do right here on Twitch on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Central. You can also look for it, Open Micers podcast, on wherever you get your podcasts from, Spotify, wherever. It's everywhere. And no, Pop Culture Palette is no longer available anywhere. I wish it was. I think you can probably get the last 15 or so episodes of it. It may still be on, what was that called? Stitcher, because they
Yeah.
cache their own, I guess, MP3 of it. You may be able to find like the last 10 or 15 episodes of it on Stitcher, but it's no longer available anywhere else. I may every once in a while put one out as like a Patreon bonus episode or something here. I'll go find an old good episode to put out.
You could post some of because remember we did the crossover
Mm-hmm.
shows
Yeah, we did
with
that one.
PCP and the Nerd Cave.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like through Pop Culture Palette is how you and I met.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of interviews on that show with a lot of famous people, and it'd be good to put that stuff back out there. Like, we talked to the guys that created the Suicide Squad. Of course, we talked to Brian O'Halloran a few times. Trying to remember everybody that we talked to. So many people on that show. It was crazy. We talked to game developers and comic book writers and artists, and it was nuts. So I may start putting out a few of those episodes as Patreon exclusives.
That'd be cool. No, I enjoyed Pop Culture Palette quite a bit back in the day. And it's funny because we were actually talking before we started about how different, our lives are now compared to even like 3 years ago, much less 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's nuts.
Axblade07 says Twitch Prime. You're not sure if anybody has Twitch Prime, but some great games on it now for free. SNK 40th Anniversary and a bunch of other Neo Geo games are on there for free. That sounds pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they have free loot each month. That sounds pretty nice.
That's really cool.
But I'm pretty much ready to get out of here if you are. The only other thing I got to tell everybody is, of course, the Open Micers podcast on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Central. And, of course, keep an eye out on my Twitter on Friday at JayFunktastic about the Ninja Gaiden tournament, and I'll let everybody know when my slot is going to be. And you can watch me play right here on my Twitch channel along with everybody else that's in the tournament.
Real quick, I did want to plug because I feel like, and I know we don't talk about a ton of serious stuff on the show, but the episode I did for my show this week, it's on Facebook Live now, but if you want to watch or listen to the audio version, you can. I did a really informative chat with a female filmmaker named Rebecca Day. She is a film producer and also a licensed therapist. So we talk a lot about mental health, the impact that COVID-19's had on it, and especially because she works pretty much specifically with those who work in the film industry. So it was a really good chat about mental health that I think applies to everybody. So
that sounds like a great
I would recommend
episode.
go check that out.
I definitely will. Is that out already?
It's going to come out tomorrow.
Okay, good. I will listen to it while I'm at
Yep.
work.
I'm going to finish editing the audio version when we get out of here.
Fantastic. And I'm going to edit this up too. But let's go ahead and get out of here, shall we?
Let's do it.
If you would like to email us, you can email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. We're at nerdcaveretro.com. We're on Instagram and Twitter at nerdcaveretro. And of course, individually at JayFunktastic and at Derek_Diamond. We're on Facebook. Facebook.com/nerdcaveretro. We're also on Patreon. Patreon.com/nerdcaveretro, where you can go throw us a couple of bucks a month to keep the lights on. And of course, if we stay above that $50 a month level, we will give you those extra episodes every month. And this month will be Street Fighter, the movie. If you can't do that, can't throw us a couple bucks a month, leave us a review wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. So Derek, please tell everybody what it's all about.
Can't be too careful with all those weirdos around.
Master Blaster runs by the town.
You blew it!
That was a fun show.
That was great. That was a really good show.
Man, you guys were jumping in the chat room tonight. I love it when it's like that.
The chat room always makes it better. I love the interaction.
Yeah, they do.
It's great.
I ordered some more RAM for my iMac. It's going to be here Friday, and hopefully that's going to boost my performance and be able to help my stream out too. And next month, since I haven't been to the gym in like 6 months, I'm going to go ahead and cancel my gym membership at Planet Fitness and use that extra $20 a month to go up a level on my my internet so I can get super fast internet.
No, that's awesome. No, I canceled mine, I think 2 months ago, because the only workouts that I do, I mean, I do DDP yoga at home, and then if I run, then I just run through my neighborhood and the surrounding area. So it's like, and plus with, people here don't like to follow the rules when it comes to the COVID situation. So,
well, that's what I was planning on doing too. Like, I've only got 1 more month left on my membership, so I figured why not just go ahead and pay the $20 instead of the 50 that it would cost me to end my membership early. So I'll just do that, and then once the weather cools off, I'm just going to start jogging around the neighborhood. I mean, I live in a good neighborhood, so why not just take advantage of that? And there are sidewalks that I can use in this neighborhood. So
yeah, that's what I like about where I live is I have like that little isolated portion, and then I can actually go out onto the sidewalk, and then I can go down other, side roads and everything. So I'm not like on the highway really that much or next to it.
But man, I'm tell you what, I'm excited to do this Ninja Gaiden tournament. I can't wait to get my time slot. I'm going to be practicing this weekend too. Like I said, I just downloaded I can't use Live Split, which is what speedrunners use when they're doing speedrunning, because they don't make it for Mac. And that's what I have as a Mac. I have to use the Mac version, which is called Splitter, and that's what I was doing this afternoon right before we started the show. I was trying to set up all my hotkeys so I can just, hit it the second I start the game and get an accurate count of how long it's going to take me to finish the game.
Yeah. No, that'll be fun, though. I'll be excited to watch it.
Axblade said Blazing Chrome is on Twitch Prime, and it's like a Contra clone. I don't have as Twitch Prime anymore because I don't have Amazon Prime anymore. I was thinking about redoing my Amazon Prime because The Boys is coming back on soon, and I want to watch season 2 because the season 1 rocked.
I still haven't watched it.
Dude, you haven't watched The Boys yet?
I have not.
Dude,
no.
That is your homework for this weekend. Go watch The Boys, man. Holy crap.
How many episodes is it?
What is it, like 7 or 8 episodes, I think?
That's not too bad.
If that, it's not many.
If I don't have to work on Saturday, I can probably get through it.
Oh, yeah, you can get through it in a
weekend.
day. It's not that long. Let me make sure. Let me. How many episodes? Let me just type The Boys. See, 8 episodes.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, and they're all like anywhere from 45 minutes to like a little under an hour. So you can get through it in a weekend, dude. It's like if the Justice League were assholes. And controlled by Disney. It's weird. You just gotta watch it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Oh yeah, Mixmaster. It's sort of like I said, it's like if the Justice League were run by a corporation and they're not really into helping people. They're just more into the money of looking like they're heroes. And they're all really just like the Superman character, who's like the strongest, Superman character, is such a dick. He's such an asshole. And he's like, he's got like what do you call it? Arrested Development. As far as like his personality and like dude. It's it's what The Watchmen should have been, like the movie. It's so good.
For some reason, it makes me think of a quote from Twister. I can't remember like the rival to Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, but when it's like they tell him, "You sold out for some corporate
Yeah,
sponsors."
exactly. That's what it is. Like they're run by like a Disney type of corporation where you know how Disney treats their superstars, like their kid superstars like Miley Cyrus and all of them. They're like totally manufactured to look a certain way and to act a certain way, and like their public image is all like it's exactly how they do this Justice League type of team who are really superheroes. And the Aquaman dude is like totally a perv and like sexually harasses the new girl, and it's so and oh it's so good. You got to watch it. You have to watch it.
I'll check it out
You're going to watch that
for
first
sure.
episode, the first minute of the first episode, you're going to be in. I'm telling you that when you that the Flash character does something to accidentally, like imagine what would happen if the Flash running at full speed accidentally ran into someone. What would
Oh
happen?
no. Oh boy.
Yeah. That's just the first like 30 seconds of the show.
I'll check it out this weekend
All right.
for sure.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and go so I can get this thing edited up. And thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys were great tonight. And don't forget to be here tomorrow for the open micers if you can. If not, I'm going to be practicing Ninja Gaiden all weekend. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next